coming here, and thank you for squeezing into our office. We're really excited to have everyone here tonight for our FitTech panel. You might be wondering the space that you're in. This is Def Method's office. So Def Method is a software consultancy with software engineers, product managers, product designers, and we work with companies like FitTech companies to help them either to augment their own engineering staff or help them to bring their product to life. So greenfield and brownfield as well. Also, before we kick off the panel, I would like to thank Fitworthy for setting up our sponsors for some awesome drinks here. So we have C4 that's sponsored, and then we also have collagen water. And so try them out. The C4, maybe grab one for tomorrow morning. I don't know if you'll be able to sleep tonight if you have one, but they did encourage you guys to grab one for tomorrow morning. So please, on your way out the door, take one, try it out tomorrow morning. I'm definitely going to be doing that. Anyway, without any more ado, we'll kick off the panel. So we have 4 amazing panelists with us tonight. So to kick us off, we have Erika. She's the CEO of HealthKick. We also have Kristie here, who is the engineering VP of Mirror. We have Kathleen, the engineering VP of Aaptiv. And finally, we have William, the CEO of Mile High Running Club. So kind of a diverse set of fit tech companies. I think this will be a really interesting conversation. So to kick us off, do you guys mind just quickly introducing yourself, your role, and also your company?
Sure. Thanks, Julia. Great to be here. Hey everyone, I'm Erika Zauner. I'm the founder and CEO of HealthKick. We're a corporate wellness membership that provides employees with access to over 500 leading consumer health, fitness, and wellness brands as part of their corporate sponsored benefits.
I'm Kristie D'Ambrosio-Corral. Mirror is a in-home fitness device that streams live and on-demand personal training classes right to your home. So you can sort of think Peloton, but we're genre agnostic. I'm the head of engineering there, so I run the engineering and the product team.
Hi, I'm Kathleen Yanolatos. I'm VP of Engineering at Aaptiv. At Aaptiv, our goal is to improve people's lives through fitness. We're an audio-based fitness app, so we create really great, high-quality content and use our technology to provide people with a customized, personalized plan for them.
Willie, founder and CEO of Mile High Run Club. We are a boutique fitness studio in New York City. We have 3 locations. We do group treadmill classes. We're really just trying to spread the joy of running and help people with whatever their goal is, whether it's to run a mile or an ultra marathon, help them get better.
Thank you. So to kick off our panel, how has technology, but also how has the fitness industry in general evolved over the past, let's say, 5 or 10 years? In your opinion, and how has your company been involved in that evolution?
I'm comfortable starting from my viewpoint. You know, when I first joined Aaptiv, it's been a little under 3 years at this point. There were not that many people in the space. It's gotten much more crowded, which I think is a testament to people's desire for this sort of product and experience. I think technology really is just helping people get high quality fitness instruction kind of on their own time and in their own space. We're very lucky we live in New York. There's tons of high quality fitness instruction available to people, pointing at you for Mile High Run. But for other folks who maybe aren't so lucky to live in a major metropolis, or maybe folks who don't have the money to spend on boutique classes or personal training, they have not had access to this sort of thing. And so folks like Aaptiv and other people in the space are really trying to provide access to that. And I'm sure we'll just see more and more of that sort of access spreading.
Yeah.
I would, agree with that. And I think especially, over the past 10 years, we're seeing trends toward, with chains like Orange Theory Fitness nationally and Pure Bars and Peloton and Aaptiv and Mirror now, people who, maybe were going to sort of your chain your chain gyms adopting boutique fitness and more specific, we're branching out of sort of like the typical fitness trends?
For us, like the technology is pretty much like everything that the customer doesn't see in the studio. It's how they book, it's how we run our retention software, it's how we upsell runners. I think that for us, like as a trend in the last 10 years, I think the iPhone has been like the single greatest contributor to people just looking at their health holistically, whether it's monitoring their sleep, whether it's using apps like ClassPass to find classes, whether it's heart rate monitors, and just having all of that data in one place, I think is, even with on the corporate side, just the technology just made things so much more accessible and easier for someone to look at their health from multiple angles in one way.
I'd say in like the last 10 years, really we've made such improvements and such strides in the at-home fitness space due to the advancements in other areas of technology. Obviously with the mobile phone, but also with Wi-Fi networks becoming much more accessible to people in home as opposed to having internet. Easy to set up. Lots of connected home tech has allowed us to bring fitness in-house. And so Peloton was obviously one of the first to really bring that. But you've got Nordic Track, you've got Aaptiv, and many others that are doing that. And it's allowed people to be healthy and convenient.
So let's dig into that topic a little bit more of in-home fitness versus going to a fitness class. Do you see that evolving in a different way than it is today? And then also, it was interesting you were saying, urban areas versus suburban areas, and here in New York we have access to, I think just within this vicinity of the office, I think we have maybe 4 different studios with boxing and running and everything that you could imagine. Is it going to evolve in different ways in urban versus suburban areas?
Yeah, I can speak to that. I think that what we see is that people in suburban areas, especially rural areas, want access to the great content that they know people in urban areas have access to. And so being able to bring that in home, whether through an app or through a device, whatever meets their needs, is incredibly important. And so, obviously having a place to go out of the home is something that some people will always want to do. It's got its place for sure. But the convenience, for most people is what we're seeing a trend towards. So bringing things in home, and especially the sort of democratization of all the kinds of content that you're speaking of with the trends of bar and boxing and things. We're going to continue to have more trends over the years. Being able to sort of expand on that in home and conveniently is really important.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I'd also say even for folks in urban areas, we find we have a lot of customers who maybe work at night shift and aren't there when the gym or the boutique studio is open. New moms, for example, who can't get out, and just being able to have that access to that high quality instruction is pretty life-changing for them.
We'd like to be in the at-home space. We've been approached by a bunch of different tech apps and companies and had conversations about developing content for them. We also seem to get told that everything is going to disrupt our business, that Peloton's opening and what's going to happen to Mile High and Aaptiv's coming out and where are all your users and it hasn't. I think maybe New York City is a complete bubble. I think today from lunchtime on we're at 98% occupancy. We literally had 4 treadmills that we didn't sell after lunch this afternoon. I think a very cold day certainly certainly helps us. But I think that we view our content as a huge asset and our coaches as a huge asset. It's something that we hope to be able to take to other markets as we continue to grow.
So on that same trend, marketing for all 4 of your companies, I'm assuming would look very different. So we have the B2B approach versus B2C, and then B2C at home versus getting someone into the studio. What are your current marketing techniques to get users?
Yeah, so we are, B2B, we sell to HR as a corporate benefit, so, definitely a little different than On the consumer side, so our team does like direct to corporate outreach, as well as we actually will also use, do some consumer marketing where we found that employees, who really want access to an offering like HealthKick are very willing to introduce us to their HR teams. So we do, certain initiatives around that to sort of, leverage the demand that's out there among employees to get their companies involved. And we're lucky that we have such strong partnerships. For example, right now we're doing a big January Reset Challenge with Holly Rillinger, who was a flywheel instructor and has her own program called Lifted, which is focused on mindfulness, nutrition, fitness. And in February, we're doing a national challenge with Barry's Boot Camp. So those are things that really get our members excited and help us on the marketing front.
So from our end, we have a very diverse marketing strategy. So we are obviously a luxury product. We are of a certain price point, but over the last about 8 months or so, we've worked really hard to sort of bring that price point to a place where most people can afford it. So we've actually expanded our financing offerings so that you can finance the mirror over 3 years. That was a huge help to us to being able to market to a wider variety of household income levels. But we have some very traditional strategies. We use TV and normal digital means of reaching out to our consumer. And then we do a number of key partnerships throughout the year. So last year we partnered with Tracy Anderson to do some unique content on the product, and so we've got some cross promotion there, and opened us up to a group of people that were interested in her content, and we'll be doing similar throughout this year. And then we also do a lot of sort of unpaid press, and we sort of dole out a lot of mirrors, say, hey, try it to a lot of press, and if you like it, please write about it. They all choose to at the end, but none of that's paid, and so that's done a lot for us, which is being able to actually give away the product, allow people to try it. We had a number of really excellent write-ups, including Wirecutter, who did a full breakdown of the product, which was a very scary experience. But those are the things that have really helped us. And then word of mouth. Had an outstanding celebrity word of mouth outreach. So I don't know if you guys seen any of that, but we've had a lot of viral videos around celebrities that want the product and have reached out about the product, and so we've really benefited from that as well.
I have to ask, it's Subway ads.
We do like out of home. Yeah, we do like out of home here in New York. Out of home being Subway. So you'll see us on the Subway, the Long Island Railroad, the Metro North. We did that very early in our life, and we continue to do that here in New York. It's been very helpful, especially if we launch our retail store. We started doing out of home in our other locations where we now have retail stores as well. So that's San Francisco and LA, Stanford and LA. And yeah, out of home is great. Got some people's eyeballs, but really it's a lot of brand marketing at that point, where you just want people to know the brand, want people to hear about Mirror. Here in New York, I think we've done a great job of that, and we'll continue to do that.
Yeah, for us at Aaptiv, it's fairly similar B2C marketing. We tend to probably focus a little more just on the digital space, so paid social, also doing partnerships with similar companies and brands that have just sort of similar customers as well. Different email campaigns, etc. Nothing I'm afraid too revolutionary on our front, but it's working quite well for us.
I think what's unique about Mile High is that a lot of our runners end up doing races, whether it's a charity 5K that they're doing with our office in Central Park, or whether they're training for the New York Half or the Brooklyn Half or the New York Marathon. Having those real world races gives us a very, very, it allows us to plan our calendar pretty easily around big races. We launched a Run Academy where we sell a larger package that's sort of depending on the race and the distance, it'll be multi-week training program that'll include running outside and running indoors. It's helped us build a revenue stream outside of the studio, which has been great. That's been huge. It grew 100% 100 and something % like last year doing those. We do a lot on the corporate side. That's a huge trend that's just been happening. Like, it's been around a while, but I feel like in the last couple of years, just, you know, companies are realizing that wellness is a huge benefit and incentivizing employees with, you know, health perks and classes. So we've definitely benefited from that macro trend. We do a little bit of digital, mainly retargeting. Someone comes to our website, they don't buy, you know, we'll follow them everywhere. We do quite a lot of, you know, sort of guerrilla marketing, like street marketing, like at races and stuff like that. And word of mouth, you know. And then obviously we work with ClassPass. It's a huge aggregation platform. I think for a lot of people, ClassPass is a discovery tool. They join ClassPass, they go to 5, 6, 7, 10 studios over a 3-month period. They figure out which 3 or 4 studios they like, and then, you know, those studios become their, you know, their partners in crime. So we definitely benefit from that as well.
And do you feel like ClassPass has helped to make studios like Mile High Running Club more successful?
100%.
Because they help just disseminate the word of mouth?
We started Mile High on a shoestring. And like our marketing budget was basically 0 because we overspent on our build out. So that just happened. And we grew up, like we started Mile High in a world where ClassPass was just starting it. They were just starting that crazy kind of 10 unlimited classes for no dollars. And so, you know, we grew up in a world where we knew no different but to kind of work with ClassPass and maximize the platform. So I think we didn't have the shell shock that a lot of other studios that had been around before ClassPass. It's really, really helped us. It's definitely has not been a pain-free process. We've gone through all of their business model iterations, which at times has been pretty painful, but we're in a really good place, and I think their platform's in a pretty good place as well. They just raised another $285 million, I think, like a couple of days ago. So I think that they're going to be around for a few more years.
Yeah. So I noticed that none of you brought up celebrity trainers in your marketing techniques, and we were chatting a little bit about this before the panel. Let's chat about trainers. I mean, a lot of all of the platforms, they center around, do you have good training talent? Do you have good teachers that are producing content that you can share, or who are hosting live classes? I guess you could answer it either way. What are your thoughts on celebrity trainers, or how do you capture and retain really good training talent and train that really good talent?
I mean, we tend to not, like, we can't afford them. So, you know, if someone's already like kind of a big deal, it's probably out of our pay range. But you know, we really focus primarily on hiring people that are really, really good runners. I have coaches that aren't even on Instagram, and they're some of our best coaches that we have. It's absolutely not a requirement. We don't force I want a coach to post because they genuinely love working at Mile High and they genuinely love the sport of running. That's far more important to me than motivating someone for an extra story or an extra tweet or an extra something. I'm personally not even on Instagram myself, so I don't even know the lingo. But as far as like, we do things to kind of like manage our downside. We've had quite a few coaches that do end up getting poached by tech companies that have raised bucket loads of money. Honestly, like, I'm very touched by that. Like, if we're breeding like a generation and helping someone then go on to, you know, get paid a shed load of money from someone else, like, that's awesome. We'll breed the next round of talent. We create a very, very high bar to become a Mile High coach, so that the switching costs of leaving Mile High are also, you know, high. And then we also limit the number of classes that a coach can teach. 1, so that they don't get burnout, and 2, so that they don't, you know, become too big for their own boots. Sorry, that was quite a long answer.
For us, we definitely don't necessarily seek out celebrity trainers. We do want trainers that are very qualified and have different certifications depending on what they're focused on. But I think for us, it's less about celebrity, and it's more that over time, we do find that our members do form bonds with some of the trainers, though. I think particularly with our sort of medium being audio-based, really focusing on the person's voice, I think over time people kind of make like a weird connection with them, for whatever reason, with the audio, and really focusing on the person and what they're saying. And so it's less about them being a celebrity, and it's more about them feeling like they know the person over time. So there is some connection that they definitely form. But we do definitely try to make sure that, we've got a wide range of trainers as well, so that way, we never find ourselves in a situation where there's just one trainer who everyone is following.
At Mirror, we really try not to focus on celebrity at all. It's obviously something that's on our radar, given that Peloton sort of oriented their entire product around certain celebrity trainers and certain cult followings. But we have been fortunate enough to not actually have any of our talent churn. We sort of launched with 8 founding trainers. All founding trainers are still with the platform. And we sort of grew them into the vision of what Mirror wanted our content to be. It's a very unique experience to teach at Mirror because you are in a black box basically all by yourself. And so it's really sad. Sometimes it's just like a little black box all by themselves. But they do have like studio techs in there with them and everything. But it can be very disheartening. And so we've sort of spent a lot of time sort of training the team on how best to stay excited, stay motivated, and of course then convey that through the Mirror to their audience. And so we've been fortunate not to have anyone churn, but one of the things that we do also try to do is make sure that our trainers are very consistent in their message and their training style. We want Mirror to be a content discovery platform. We want you to be able to try other genres and feel very comfortable in doing that. And so going from a cardio to a strength to a boxing to maybe even pushing yourself and doing a Pilates class is going to feel very Mirror. We don't want it to feel like you're hopping to a brand new trainer that you've never experienced before and be somewhat confused. And so we train our trainers in that way so they have a pretty consistent message, and we'll continue to do that.
We definitely feature trainers at our partner studios and brands, so that's a great way to sort of introduce employees to what that brand or studio or fitness program is all about, and to get them excited to try it out. So we leverage that for sure, but not necessarily of varying, I guess, celebrity status, but yeah.
Great, so Kathleen and Kristie, let's talk tech a little bit. So in this new wonderful world of content creation and sharing these classes more broadly, I do think there's this notion of freshness with the classes. But then, you could have these amazing classes being filmed and, retained for a longer period of time. But as we know, videos take up a lot of memory space. So what is your strategy in terms of kind of shelf life of this content? Does it live forever? Ultimately, does it get wiped? How do you determine what classes you kind of let go of if you do? And have you thought about kind of how to more efficiently store all of that information in the future?
Yeah, for us, we're audio, so
Right,
so that saves us a little space right there to begin with. So that's great. But the classes that we produce, and we're constantly producing new content, we try to make them something that's evergreen, where we intend for that class to be as high quality as possible and to be there for as long as it can be. We definitely do some seasonal stuff here and there, maybe a Halloween class or something around the holidays. But ideally, the stuff is something that will still have value if you come back a year later. And there are definitely people that we see that do like to take the same classes over and over again as well. We do also want to keep stuff around for a while because we do obviously get new members in constantly. And so while maybe an existing member may have taken this class before, a new person may not have, so it's new to them. But I think, because we do know that there are lots of folks that have stuck with us throughout our whole time being around. We are constantly trying to produce some fresh stuff because for some people, newness does matter in terms of keeping them excited and kind of just keeping the whole workout fresh for them. So.
Yeah, I think we take a slightly different approach. Obviously, we have audio and video, so it is quite large to keep all that content. But honestly, it doesn't matter. Regardless, we'd be keeping all that content no matter whether we served it to the end consumer or not. So we keep it for our records and because it's very important to our business. So we actually have very old content even from early days that we would never ever display. We keep it for posterity purposes. But in terms of what we serve to our end user, our entire workout library is actually sorted by newest to oldest. We produce over 100 classes a week, and so we are constantly generating new content. Users are somewhat craving new content, so we don't actually see on our platform, at least, a lot of users going back to the same class. They mostly care about, for us at least, it's class duration, so if they want to do a 15 or 30-minute class, that's really important to them, and then sort of what level. And so we are trying to always make sure we have fresh content in every single category. We have 20, maybe 30 some odd different genres of classes that we offer, and so we want to make sure that all of those genres continue to have fresh content. So even if you want to do an abs class, you can do an abs class every single day and you will not run out. It's one of our really important pillars. So we're constantly making sure that our content's fresh, but we never, we actually never delete it from the platform. So if you want to scroll all the way back and you want to look back, 6-8 months, you can. And the content is, of course, designed to be evergreen. So we actually never do seasonal content. We don't do anything that's like themed in any sort of way. So you have to do one after the other.
And just to add one other thing that you had asked about, we do solicit user feedback as well. So we get comments from people, they give it a rating as well after they take a workout. And so we kind of look at that data as well as class starts and class completions to kind of assess how things are performing. And in the rare chance that we do see something that maybe is less than ideal, we might take it down and tweak the workout, or we might just take it down wholesale if we feel like we've got a good replacement for it.
So how important is community in all of this? Some of these workouts an individual is doing in their home just on their own without other people, other workouts, they're in a class with a coach, or being encouraged by their company to go work out with others. How important is community and how important is competition? In your opinion.
For us, it depends on the individual. We found that we've got some people that are more than happy to work out alone and in fact prefer that. On the other hand, we found that there are people that want to be with other people and want to be interacting with them. So part of that sometimes is just talking to other people. We do have a social component to our app as well. And part of it is competition. I guess now it's been about maybe 6 months, but we launched kind of this team challenge concept in the app where you can sign up. You're assigned to a team and you do this time challenge and earn points for your team. And that's been a great success for folks who are looking for that kind of social aspect in competition.
I mean, community is pretty important for us. Like, we have community around the races. We have a team where, like, if you're doing a New York Road Runners race, you can run 4 Mile High and you get team points. Our women did incredibly well last year and came second in one of the groups or something. Yeah, it's super important. We're doing our first Mile High track meet at the East River track on April 5th. We'll build 2 months of content leading up to that.
Officially got into the cabinet. He knows when we're distracted.
Yeah, no, don't worry. So it's super important. As far as like the competition, I mean, you've got to be aware. I think it's most important to focus on like, we just stay in our lane and really keep on doubling down on the things that are working and keep on trying new things and don't be afraid to make mistakes. I don't worry too much on a daily basis about, I don't even think about how many people are going to Peloton tread or how many, the market is big enough for everyone, it's growing, it's not winner take all. I think at the moment all boats are rising.
Mirror is obviously inherently a solo device, but what we found is actually the community is a really big part of it. So not only with the digital community, which we do have a community aspect to our platform, where you can sort of interact with users that are in the class with you, but actually in your home as well. So we found that a lot of people do classes together. So either parent, child, brother, sister, husband, wife. We get a lot of those. People that like two in front of one mirror. And actually, we're hoping to launch a multiplayer part of our platform later this year, which would allow you to sort of have up to 4 people sort of connected to and interacting with the mirror at the same time. Because we did not anticipate that many people sort of in a single home wanting to do that activity. But we're finding it's a really big part of it, and especially with children. So we've recently launched family fun content, which allows you to sort of do the mommy and me sort of stuff, or put the kids in front of the mirror instead of the TV. And it's been a really big success. So. Yeah. And in terms of competition, we do not have a competitive part of our platform where you compete against the rest of the community. We do, however, have a self-competition part of the platform where you would compete against our AI-driven best version of you based on past performance and sort of the level of the class. So we sort of allow you to really focus on you.
Yeah.
Well, on the corporate front, community and competition are both important. Our whole concept is built around providing a highly personalized experience to an individual, where like if you're into spin or you're into HIIT classes or bar, you can do that. But then we also pair that with monthly member challenges, which often provide opportunities for employees to go to classes together, compete with other companies, win prizes, compete with other teams within their company internally, or even like go to do group workouts together as like a team building event. So I mean, definitely companies are like incorporating wellness more into their overall culture building and team building initiatives, or even just like client entertaining. So community is a big part of that.
Great. So last question from me, but what are you most excited about for the future of fit tech?
I can go. So I mean, I think it's just incredible to see all of the tremendous growth and innovation in the past 5 to 10 years, and I mean, we're fortunate, and I love the fact that we can, being a hub and marketplace, we get to partner with all these amazing brands and get to really we kind of think of ourselves as companies trend spotters. So that's our goal to always be on the forefront of all the cool latest innovations, and just the increase in personalized experience and accessibility, and I think it's made fitness much more accessible to the masses in general, and helped people to find a routine that they can fit into their lifestyles, and also that they can stick to. And so I think just from the general health and well-being of the population, it's awesome that fit tech has made access to fitness and health more accessible.
I mean, I think for me, the most exciting part of any technology and technology growth is it becoming sort of less tech and more natural. So when it sort of disappears and it becomes sort of the everyday, and as you said, having that become a wellness trend. So for a generation of young people to grow up with accessibility to great content, and great opportunities to be fit and stay fit, I think that's really exciting. It's kind of not tech at all, but I think the most exciting thing is to actually make that kind of impact in people's lives, and we're starting to see just what that generation might be like with access to this sort of technology, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah. Similarly, seeing people have access to particularly personalized guidance, I think is really something that I'm genuinely excited about. We've just sort of scratched the surface at Aaptiv on what can be done there. As tech gets better, as people have more access to things, wearable devices, other things that can give you actual biometric data on how people are doing with their workouts, I think there's a lot that can be done in terms of actually trying to approximate the experience you get if you were actually working one-on-one with someone, personal trainer. So I'm just excited to see more people get access to that, especially folks who maybe don't have the access to it in a big city, or the income to maybe afford something that would be traditionally out of reach.
I think just the continuation of tech sort of tying together different elements. I think at the moment things are kind of still quite siloed. You've got sort of fitness tech apps, and you've got a bunch of sleep apps, and you've got meditation apps, and I think just seeing the continuing evolution of that, where all of those things start to merge into like a 360-degree on your health, and eventually I think getting to a point where your devices are telling you what's best for you. They're telling you, like, don't go for a run today. Like, that's going to mean that when you go for a run tomorrow, you're going to be faster and well rested, and you've got a race on Saturday. So personally, like, I'm most excited about just kind of the technology kind of merging everything together so that we can really understand what's best for us overall.
Thank you, guys. We have time for about 2 to 3 audience questions. Do you guys have any questions for the panelists?
I have a question. Excuse me. Kristie, I think you mentioned this a little bit earlier, but can you guys across the panel talk about your relationship with AI involved within your industry or and vertical? Because I think that's a point in technology where everyone's exploring and going in different directions, and it would be interesting to hear what you guys think about it.
I mean, I can talk to it again if you want. But we definitely do utilize, AI is a buzzword right now, so obviously everyone's trying to sort of incorporate it into their technology. AI at its core is, smart tech. So we use smart in a lot of different ways. I would say we use it for our personalized content, which I think is how Aaptiv is also using it. We also use it for our in-workout experience, as I mentioned, for our specifically our competition product. And we're hoping to continue to utilize AI in personal training, in future improvements on content recommendation beyond fitness as well. But yeah, really allowing that product to be personalized. One of the things that Mirror does is that within a workout, if you have any limitations, if the series of exercises are something that might stress your particular limitation that you've told us about, we will actually provide you a substitution, so a live substitution. It'll show up and say, hey, please don't do that. It's not going to be good for you. Here's what you should do instead. And so really personalizing the workout just for you, as opposed to just delivering the static content.
Yeah, as Kristie mentioned, we do use it for delivering particular workouts for people. We have a personalization recommendations team on our engineering team that's solely focused on continuing to develop other personalized content. The other main area for us is not just showing you, hey, here's some workouts that we think you'd like, but actually trying to develop a personalized plan for you based on your goals and our understanding of where you are right now. So that's been the other place in particular we've really been focusing on.
We don't use AI from the training perspective. Like, obviously there are training tools out there. There's a V, I think it's called. It's a sort of running AI thing. I think that you'll see a continuous evolution of that and Aaptiv and stuff getting smarter and smarter. For us, AI, I guess the closest thing that we have, which would be AI, would be our pricing algorithms, probably through ClassPass. We are capacity constrained, unlike Aaptiv or Mirror. So economics and price demand, that's where we use AI, I guess.
So I mentor edtech startups and tech startups, and one of the things you had mentioned was accessibility. As they're more in the edtech space, there's a lot more possibility to bring in good tech because of homeschooling. So have you thought of expanding in the education space as well?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Mirror, we don't see ourselves as a fitness piece of hardware. We are we're sort of a content platform that we can deliver any kind of interactive content that we choose. Fitness is our first vertical. It's where our specialty is right now, but we will not remain that way. We will move into lifestyle, we'll move into education, telemedicine, therapy, group classes, things like that. And education is obviously definitely on our radar.
Where do you guys see other mediums like VR and AR, not to throw both words at you? Where do you see those two mediums fitting into the fit tech space in the future?
I think for us at least, VR and AR sort of have their place right now, which is sort of a novelty. They're not really being utilized in anything beyond entertainment, gaming. I think the tech is not quite there. I don't know if any of you have ever set up a VR set of goggles, but it takes half an hour. It's a really difficult experience to set up a pair of VR goggles. The idea right now I think is accessibility, and so Mirror at least is built to eventually be able to benefit from some of the advancements in the spaces of VR and AR in terms of their algorithms, in terms of their real-time feedback, but in a way that we hope to be a bit more immersive without the lift of a set of goggles, a wearable device.
I think in your case too, with the physical hardware itself, you can use AR a little bit better than a medium like VR.
Yes.
Cool, thanks.
Yeah.
How do you incorporate fit tech or this fitness theme inside of your own companies? Internalize it as part of a company culture? Or do you?
Yeah, I mean, we're always looking, for us, it's a CRM system, it's a booking platform, it's our pricing, it's our retention software, email software. I mean, always looking at improving and seeing what's out there on those tools. As far as in studio, try and keep it simple. If anything, it's the opposite. It's high quality treadmill and hopefully a break from whatever else is on your mind. Those 45 minutes.
Are you asking how we as a company sort of enable fit tech with our employees?
Do you guys have mirrors set up throughout the office that you stop by and jump in front of?
We do have a ton of mirrors in the office, I will say. And sometimes, some days you're I don't know about that. But for most days it's fine. We actually, every employee gets a mirror and a free subscription. So we do enable all our employees to have our device. We also, we do a $500 per personal development fund every year, and actually most of my engineers this year used it to buy fitness equipment to go with their mirror, so weights, kettlebells, yoga mat, things like that. They're really utilizing the technology. They also love finding bugs at home, which is pretty hilarious. So I get some work out of them while they work out. We do have a number of small sort of spaces where if you want to do a workout, you can, and we sort of allow you to do that. I will do that before I commute, so before I get on the train, sometimes I'll just quick do a class before I head home. It's just easier than doing one at home when there's other things to distract me. So we really try to live health and wellness. And from a tech perspective, because I do run the engineering team, I also like to bring that to the tech side, which means that from a code perspective, we try to keep our code healthy as well. And so something we try to live, which is that we often will do, the last week of the month, we'll do refactors, we'll do bug cleanups. We really try to live healthy throughout the company.
I like that.
Yeah, for us, similarly, everyone at Aaptiv has a membership to Aaptiv. They also get codes to use for friends and family too, so that way they can share the fun of using Aaptiv as well. For us, one thing that we do have also is our trainers actually, most of them actually come into our office to report their classes. And sometimes they'll kind of do a little voluntary in-office workout for people, which actually completely threw me off when I started. All of a sudden, there was just someone saying okay, everyone get down and hold a plank for a minute. And I was like, does this happen all the time? It was great actually. And so we try to do that. A lot of folks in general just kind of try to live healthy lifestyles and encourage each other. Me and my team would work out together actually at some points. And then generally just, try and provide also healthy food in the office.
Great.
Yeah, and we also, we're lucky that, we have a lot of great partners that we get to experience, and everyone kind of has their favorite studio or, type of fitness activity they like to do, so we like to mix it up as a team, and, use that as a chance to, get everyone, do some team bonding and get in a workout too. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Great, so we're out of time, but just to close it out, are you guys hiring? And if you are, how can people get in touch with you? Because I know this is a requested question.
Yeah. We're hiring in sales, marketing, as well as account management. So I guess the best way, you can go to our website. It's health-kick.com, or I'm just Erika at health-kick.com, so you can email me or LinkedIn me.
We're hiring across the board, definitely engineering for any position that you could possibly imagine, and as well as product. You can go to mirror.co, go down to footer, you'll see careers page, or if you want, I'm Kristie at mirror.co. So.
Yeah, we're hiring particularly in engineering across pretty much all teams, everything from personalization recommendations to iOS engineers as well. If you're interested in learning more, you can either email me at Kathleen with a K at aaptiv.com, AAPTIV, or you can just go to the website and check out the jobs there as well.
We have coach auditions next Tuesday. Hopefully see many of you there. We're always hiring front desk and housekeeping, but other than that, we don't have many major roles at the moment. We're going to be going into franchising later this year. But yeah, and if anyone wants to email me, it's william@milehighrun.club.com.
Thank you so much for coming and joining us and sharing all of your knowledge. Well, the office will stay open for the next 45 minutes or so. There's still some free, awesome drinks, so please take some as you head out the door, and thank you guys so much for joining us tonight.